Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the Outer Reaches, a wrestling podcast. I am Daniel, your host for today, joined by my two co-hosts.
Your boy Zach
and David back again.
Well, we tied him to the chair. He's sitting there going, "No, okay, I'll talk about."
Just Clockwork Orange, dude.
You're gonna like wrestling, I swear to God.
They keep giving me candy and water to get it to go down my throat.
Keeps getting in the van. Oh, cool. Fuck.
When will he learn?
But yes, we're back again to talk about all things wrestling. This week, I kind of have set up some deep questions for everybody. But also, we're going to talk about WWE. I think a little bit about SmackDown, and then the big main Saturday night main event, and what that means for WrestleMania, and a few of the wrestlers in their careers, because I have some thoughts about some of the things I've seen this week. And I'm excited to share them with you all. If you are watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you are listening to this on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, don't forget to like and share, tell everybody about it, and so we can go from the dungeon to being the main event,
top rope,
to being the main event at WrestleMania. But yes, follow us on all those social medias, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. And please don't forget to listen to our other podcast, the Lower Time Podcast, our companion to this, where we talk about things other than wrestling. But let's talk about this week. We've had some really interesting events that I think are going to establish what's going to be happening for WrestleMania. So just to recap Raw a little bit, I know we didn't see, or I know David saw bits of it. I don't know how much of it you saw, Zach. Penta wrestled versus the boy Butch, otherwise known as Peter Dunne. I think that's great billing. Personally, I think having Penta fight guys who aren't afraid to mix it up and get a little dirty, you know what I mean,
is good. Yeah,
is good. Shows what he did in Lucha.
And I've always liked my boy Butch.
Yeah. What was that, David?
I was gonna say, when does he fight Ray?
It's coming. I think.
Like, do we think that's gonna happen?
Oh yeah.
You can't give him the luchadors first, though, because I feel like, especially because Ray speaks Spanish, I think you can get a much more like cohesive promo with him.
A Penta Ray WrestleMania match,
dog,
would go very hard.
Oh, I would buy that T-shirt so fast.
And I feel like that. I mean, that kind of writes, like, if you wanted to do that, because that could be like a changing of the guard kind of a thing. Is
like the next big luchador.
Ray kind of stepping down as like, because Ray's been like luchador number one, numero uno.
Numero, and they are riding his ass like Frank Gore at the twilight of his career.
A shout out to Ray, never getting bad, just gets a little slower.
Yep.
What if they did like a Penta plus Dom versus like Ray and somebody else?
That'd be cool.
They are part of that is they had Chad Gable in, and he talked about, he's like, I don't know how to beat these luchadors. And so he was like, I'm gonna talk to Dominic, because Dominic knows luchadors. So Dominic he gave Chad some information on who to talk to about how to beat luchadors. So I don't know who it is.
It should be Chavo.
comes out with this chair, says beating people up. I think it might be. I'm trying to think if they would switch brands and they go. I think Santos is in SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be Santos, right? That's the only logical luchador person.
Yeah.
I could think of. Other than that, there's no real.
That makes the most sense to me, honestly.
Yeah. Send him to the other Mexican who doesn't like Ray. But yes, if you haven't had the chance on YouTube, watch Rey Mysterio versus Pentagon Jr. in Lucha Underground. It's all gonna come back to Lucha Underground.
It's all time is a flat circle.
But I was talking to my girlfriend about it, because she's like, oh, like, do all these guys like know like Pentagon? And I'm like, you don't understand. And I was like, because you have Chelsea Green, Kairi Sane, you have Io Sky, Ray. Oh, who else? Santos Escobar, who was King Cuerno.
Yeah.
You have. I'm trying to remember who else we got.
But there's a lot in there, and then just all the other wrestlers would be familiar.
Yeah.
They probably watch a lot of wrestling content.
Yeah.
Especially if it's on TV, it's like, all right, this is like a bigger brand.
Yeah.
So I think the holdout. I don't know if they'll give him WrestleMania this year. I could see them doing it. He might get a SummerSlam event. I think.
Yeah. SummerSlam would be cool. SummerSlam would make sense to me.
Yeah. Oh man, you do like a Backlash Mexico, and you just have all luchadors on there. That'd be cool. That'd be fun. Sami Zayn has come out and said that he is joining the Rumble. He cut a very fun promo. Actually, Sammy does the I'm the man. I am you, all you in the crowd, because his whole bit was like, he's like, I'm joining because I want to wrestle WrestleMania because 14-year-old me wanted to do that, and that's what I'm gonna do. I keep showing up because Seth came out and was like, hey, like you always help Roman, you help everybody else, but you should worry about yourself.
Yeah.
And so then Sammy came out, cut this promo, which then led to Kevin coming out.
Kevin, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he said, you should
join me.
Basically, he's like, you should do it. And I'll beat Cody, and then we will headline WrestleMania together.
Because yeah, wasn't his whole thing? He's like, hey, like I'll have the belt, and then you'll wrestle me.
Yeah.
I want that to happen so bad.
I do too. That was so freaking cool. I was like, okay, that might.
One time for the one time. Oh, and then he could do a hype package showing them wrestling in the Chud dungeons, dude.
As Mr. What was it, Mr. Nobody or whatever?
Oh, he was. El
Generico.
El Generico.
El Generico. And Kevin Steen. Which
Kill
is his real last
Steen,
name.
Kill, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin was killing people. But that would be you have to do it at least once before they retire, I think.
Yes.
And that actually caught traction. I was kind of looking through like the internet and stuff, and people were like, no, it'd be cool to have a Kevin versus Sammy, like Kevin be champion.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna talk about because of the main event that happened last night. But I really, really, really want the Kevin versus Sammy. I think that would be great.
Oh, that tickles my brain.
He came out and said that, and I was kind of like, oh fuck.
There's so many storylines like that.
Yeah.
Be cool.
That would be super sweet. I think so. And like I said, like you just go on YouTube, find they've wrestled each other since time
immemorial.
They're best friends in real life. They've done nothing but try to fuck each other over in wrestling. Like it, you wouldn't even have to have them cut promos. I mean,
it writes itself. Yeah, but it writes itself.
Oh god, they cut a promo though. Can you imagine that promo? How crazy that would be?
It would be so good. I guess the question is, can we actually foresee Cody losing?
So I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit because like I have thoughts about Cody.
Okay.
I think he's gonna drop it.
You think he's gonna drop it at Mania? Okay.
Probably WrestleMania. I don't know. Not say he's a bad like champ, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. SmackDown. We'll talk about SmackDown a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. SmackDown. I think we before we press record, SmackDown has not been hitting the way it should. It's been a little. It's the little brother.
Lackluster.
It's the little brother right now of.
I feel like the shows kind of alternate depending on which one's better, and because there was a while Raw was just like sad, and SmackDown was just killing it, and I feel like we've kind of like shifted back.
I was gonna say, I remember when I kind of got into it, and you guys were watching a bunch of SmackDown, so I was like, that's what I was tracking. But that was the whole storyline with like Cody going for WrestleMania and the belt. So it was like, that was the big story.
Roman was kind of on SmackDown. The whole Bloodline thing was on SmackDown, and
that's when it was. Yeah.
And that was cooking.
I ignored many a D&D sessions to watch the Bloodline.
Paul Heyman's talking. Shut up.
I don't care about the light. The light that Paul Heyman brings us all is what's more important. They had Pretty Deadly wrestled. I liked Pretty Deadly. I think SmackDown has turned into like a tag team kind of thing. Because you have like Street Profits, they've been out for a little bit. I think people were talking about wanting them to break up and have what's his name, Montez Ford go on a singles run.
I do like Montez.
Montez is great. I feel like I'm in the minority. I love Angelo Dawkins. He's a good B.
I like Angelo Dawkins too. But in every tag team, right?
You got
there's the main guy, and then there's the other dude.
And Angelo's the other dude.
And it's just like in the Rockers, right? It was Marty Jannetty and then Seth Michaels. It was Brett Michaels.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what are you gonna?
Yeah, who you gonna really gonna?
Yeah.
But Montez, I think, would be a great push. LW or the Legado del Fantasma, which so apparently I didn't get a chance to see it because I had to work basketball game that day. But apparently his minions Angelo and Berto, which feels like a weird Mexican Ernie and Bert and Ernie thing.
Get them, my minions!
But they like killed it. Apparently, people were
really?
like genuinely like, no, they're really good. I think that's going to be exciting. I think that's exciting. I think SmackDown should be the tag team.
Yeah.
Just build up all the tag teams. They had a tag team match. It was like Nia versus Rhea versus Bianca versus Tiff. Like it was like a trios kind of match, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But Rhea's champion. I don't think she's going to drop. Tiffany, I think, is in similar star power.
Yeah.
It helps that she's a really good wrestler and also is very attractive.
Yeah. Where's Shinsuke? He's
on SmackDown.
He's on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I haven't seen him. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, they LA Knight's been wrestling to try to get to be the US. And I think LA Knight's done a good job of like making the US title feel important.
Yeah.
But you can just it just feels different watching it. Like when I pull up my Netflix and I'm watching Raw, it feels bigger.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because Netflix has all the money to throw at it.
It might be. But that's important though. That's the important part of the presentation.
And the SmackDown is like, you can tell that it's good, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just not the same quality.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, it's probably going to get there because they're probably doing stuff on Raw that they're like, oh, we got to do this on SmackDown.
Like I said, it's pretty cyclical on how it happens. When I was a wee lad, it was Teddy Long was the GM of SmackDown. And he would just go, hey, player, because literally every SmackDown would start the same. People would be arguing. He'd come in and go, hey, player, we're going to settle this in like a fatal four-way. So it was always like multi-man matches every time. Or The Undertaker. He would just sick The Undertaker on people. You're going to fight The Undertaker. That's all SmackDown was. There wasn't a whole lot going on.
So here, I'll read you the SmackDown list. So we have the Motor City Machine Guns, who are actually really fun. I actually really like them.
Yeah.
And they wrestle Pretty Deadly. I love Pretty Deadly. I mean,
Pretty Deadly is fantastic. I love those dudes. I love those goobers, dude.
I just hope they don't get kind of shoehorned like R-Truth with like they're good wrestlers, but because they're so funny that they like force them to just be funny. You had B-Fab and Meechin wrestled Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, something called Chris. I think that was one of the weaker ones.
Yeah,
there. And it's not like Chelsea's a great wrestler, but it's just like SmackDown has a lot of lower level people, like lower tier characters, I think, and it's not.
Well, Chelsea has a belt too. Why is she doing doubles?
I think because they're trying to. I think they're trying to use Chelsea.
You know what I mean, though. But it's like she's a champ. Technically, it's like
yeah.
But I think they're trying to use Chelsea to propel Piper.
Right, they're trying to slingshot Piper up higher.
Yeah, and I'm not. Piper's a good wrestler. I like. I do like Piper, and I think there needs her and Nia would be a fun match.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I think that would be interesting. They did. Kevin Owens got into an argument with Matthew McConaughey. Like Kevin's just coming out. He's like, "No, fuck you,
really? Matthew McConaughey."
Yeah. So Matthew McConaughey is like sitting front row, and I think he like sees him and like just starts like yelling at him. So Matthew stands up and he's wearing his University of Texas hat, and they're just yelling at each other like fucking children.
That's funny. I love that.
I like that Kevin's willing to just argue with yell at anybody. Which is what he's done in the Chud leagues too.
Yeah, I love Kevin's gimmick of just angry man. Just a man filled with hate. Kevin hate. He's had enough, you know.
Here we go. So this is the trios match. It was Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, Liv Morgan versus Rhea, Naomi, and Bianca Belair.
Okay.
Which is good. They're very good. It was
Liv and Nia were on a team.
Yes, because they both don't like Rhea.
Huh.
And I think they're kind of doing like how people have talked about that they're going to do like an anti-Cody faction.
Well, like the anti-Cody faction.
I think they're building like an anti-Rhea faction. So Candice LeRae is like Nia Jax's putty minion, and then Liv Morgan's like, oh, I have a beef with Rhea, but it sucks because like I feel like Rhea and Liv are just tied to the Dom thing.
Yeah.
Even though like they're not fighting about Dom, it feels like Dom.
The shadow of Dom.
He started it.
Yeah. That fucking mustache.
There's always a man.
Yeah. Which ties me into Nia, which what I felt about for the Saturday thing, which is I'm ready for there to be another main female antagonist.
Yeah.
Nia is cool. She's great. She did it. She had her momentum, but I'm like,
I'm ready for another Saturday morning villain.
Yeah, because she's wrestled for the title like 5 different times.
It's time for someone else to fight the Thundercats. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I brought up like Io Sky. Like, when's her time to just get?
I think so.
I feel like she's been moving up and up, but I don't know.
She's like a Chad Gable in the sense that like she wrestles anybody, and you go, oh, she's making them look a lot better.
Chad Gable, in my opinion, is so underrated.
Oh,
and I know I know everyone loves Chad, and I feel like there needs to be Chad Gable makes everyone look amazing. He can be funny. He can be serious. You remember when he was like whipping Otis?
You did it. Much like Devon Eric's dad. No, we won. I won the title.
Beating the shit out of poor Otis, dude.
I remember that. Yeah, they tied him up like straight, straight Kunta Kinte style.
I love the stuff that happens in the ring. Like this is their workplace. Imagine showing up to your workplace and be like, I'm gonna tie up
HR needs to talk to you, Chad.
I'm gonna tie up my coworker on national TV and whip him with a belt.
Darby with the real belt too. Not
have
not
they
that
ever had
shit.
like an HR character in WWE?
Yeah, John Laurinaitis.
He was like the HR of like, we can't do that.
There was have you guys ever heard about the Passion of Cody Rhodes?
No, tell us about the Passion of Cody Rhodes.
So he was in AEW. He was wrestling for something, and they gave him like these challenges he had to complete. And one of them was like he had to be whipped.
Wait, what? What is he, Hercules with his like quests?
He's just out there, and they're like, "We will beat you with this studded belt, Jesus!" And he's just like, "Yes!" And he's like bleeding, and everyone's like, "This is kind of uncomfortable. Like, why are we doing this? What's going on?"
And Cody's like, "No, put the crown of thorns on my head."
No, that's literally they were like calling it like, what is okay? Like, hold on, Cody Rhodes AEW winning.
Just your search history is going to find some weird
the 10
stuff.
lashings of Cody Rhodes. That's what it was called.
The 10 lashings. Not the 10 lashings. The trials of Cody.
Yeah, it was.
What is it they call him?
It was so good.
People call because Cody is married to a black woman. So I don't know what if it's picking up steam again, but Cody ending racism is picking back up again.
I love that stuff.
So on Twitter, it's like Cody Raheem Rhodes.
Yep.
helping end segregation.
Totally end segregation. It's so funny. Yeah, the 10 lashes of Cody Rhodes. And he was the only way that he would get to wrestle MJF.
Who's just sitting there with his nice like little like scarf that he wears going, yes.
And it was very uncomfortable because it was very like Passion of the Christ. So they just had him like bend over. It was
There was a lot of matches Friday. Sorry, I'm
you're fine. Sorry, I was.
No, we need to hear about our Lord and Savior Cody Rhodes being lashed. The things he died for.
Did they crucify him, Zach, or they didn't go that far?
They should have.
Honestly,
I mean, you may as well. You went that far.
And you're just sitting there, and you're like, "What are we doing, dog?"
Just Tony Khan nailing him to the cross.
Oh,
Dusty, they know not what they
do. This is the one wrestling event you decided to take your small child to, and you're watching. You're like, grab a rock and throw it at Cody. Stone him.
There was I was telling Ashton about. We were watching. I put on Monster Matanza versus Mil Muertes.
Yeah.
And I was like, when Mil Muertes rips Rhea Phoenix's mask and like licks the blood and like spits it. And I was like, if you look in the crowd, there's a dad who brought his kid and was peaked like, don't tell your mom.
Don't tell you. Oh, it's peaked. Don't tell your mom.
This stays here.
Yeah. They confirmed Charlotte is returning. They released like a promo video, which they should have just kept it quiet.
Yeah.
They really should have just kept it quiet. Who else? Apollo Crews and Johnny Gargano wrestled, which I know wowed the world. And then we had Tama Tonga versus LA Knight. Yeah, LA Knight.
Yeah.
LA Knight does good work. It's not Tama Tonga is not a bad wrestler. I know that they call him the botch Tonga, whatever.
Botch Tonga.
Damian Priest versus Carmelo Hayes was good.
Did they move Judgment Day to SmackDown? I just don't see them on Raw. Like
they have appeared in vignettes, and I think the world is ready for them to break up because they are.
I don't disagree. I just didn't know.
No, I think they're trying to figure out what to do with them because you feel like they've been put on the back burner. Like Dom's wrestling, I think maybe next week.
I feel like the Judgment Day now are like that version of a band that has had so many like members change. You're like, it's not really. I
don't even know who the original person is.
Edge
was the original.
Started the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Who'd he start it with?
Damian Priest.
And Damian Priest isn't even in it anymore.
Yeah, Damian Priest is gone. Rhea's gone. It was Rhea, Damian, Edge, and then
Finn. And then they X'd out Edge, and they killed Edge. I remember watching that. I think
they killed Edge.
They killed Edge and they killed his wife. They killed her with a concerto.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what a concerto is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's when you put somebody's head on the chair
and then
you hit them with the chair. Yeah, you double tap it.
Yeah.
You sell it by hitting it. You hit the chair against the chair to give it that pop sound.
Yeah.
And
it's dangerous. Beth Phoenix is out there braving it, dude.
And yeah, she's just like face to the side, looking like she's about to get curb stomped in American History X. Yeah. So I think everybody's ready. I feel like they've become like Bulk and Skull and Power Rangers, just kind of like these three stooges.
Yeah. What's Damian Priest doing now?
Well, he wrestled Carmelo. He's on SmackDown. They moved Damian to the SmackDown.
I mean, he was anti-Judgment Day for a bit, but then he was going for heavy. No,
he was Gunther.
Yeah, is he still dressing like bisexual Undertaker?
Yes, he is.
Hell yeah.
I think to this day, Ashton still thinks his name is bisexual Undertaker.
I thought he was actually bisexual when you guys were saying that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like WWE, really progressive.
No, Damian Priest is just a theater kid who happened to be good at like sports.
He's big,
but never. Yeah, like Troy Bolton, but from High School Musical, but just was like, no, I can do this. Jimmy and Kevin wrestled on SmackDown. And that was it. It ended with that. I think Kevin won. Yeah, Kevin hit him with the pop-up powerbomb, and then Cody showed up. So Cody's been like interfering with all of Kevin's matches now.
Yeah. Oh, like a heel.
Yeah, I think he cut a promo. Yeah. Oh, so which will now lead us in the Saturday Night Main Event. So David, what do you think of Saturday Night Main Event?
I thought they had some good matches. I will say I I only caught the end of the Rhea and Nia Jax match.
It was good. Just
it
was a match.
A little bit I saw. Yeah, it wasn't kind of like Daniel was saying. Is like, all right, like can we get some new people, some new blood, right?
Yeah.
I thought the Cody and Kevin was good. I mean, setting up the groundwork for next week, and then having was it HBK? He was out there.
Yeah, I do love HBK.
Cowboy hat.
They were gonna hit him with a pocket pile driver.
Oh hell yeah!
Kevin was
Cody came in to save the day. Yep. I was like, "There's no way they're doing this to this man."
They should have done it. I think he should have hit him with it.
And I was sitting there, I was like, "Man, if he takes this bump, like,
because the heat that Kevin would have got for fucking killing Shawn Michaels in San Antonio would have been absurd."
Oh yeah.
Like I get it. I get you can't do it to Shawn because he'll die at this point, and he has to run NXT. But like sometimes you just gotta go a little crazy.
Kill the old man, yeah.
Just to bring the heat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was gonna say my favorite match was probably I think it was Gunther J. I thought that was a fun match.
That's a cool match.
That was a good match. I have some thoughts about Gunther J. That I have. But yeah, so kind of like David, I watched Rhea, Nia. Even Ashton was like, she just keeps showing up.
She does. She
won't
just won't go away.
And it's like, I'm not saying Nia's bad. It's just the same. Like,
she just kind of bore.
It's like the Charlotte Flair thing, right?
Yeah.
Every time like a female wrestler got the title, just Charlotte Flair like, hello,
leads out. Hi. It was like the John Cena thing back in the day. Anytime anyone won, John Cena was like, well, the champ is here. The time is now.
Leave me alone, John Cena. Like, that's how it kind of feels. Like Rhea's just gonna keep fighting. And it feels like then they're not gonna have Tiffany and Rhea fight. But they did have a picture of both of them in the ring together with their belts, and that did something for me. Yeah. But yeah, so Nia was that. I think, but we can kind of see Cody becoming more heel.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. He cut like
he also came out in all black too.
Yeah. He came out looking. So this might be
a little villainy. Like,
I would love for him to lose, just because I want Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
And it would drive, because then you would get Cody being driven insane.
Yeah. And then he Homelanders you. And he just comes out and calls like Pensacola, Florida, like a bunch of ugly bitches or something. And then like
would he join the bloodline in the fight against Kevin at that point and then get betrayed by Roman or something?
Oh, that's good.
And then he goes just like completely just like everyone is against me.
That would be good. Oh, David.
He'd become the new Kevin in the sense of like everyone's against me. Like,
walk around with a fake belt like Kevin.
Like, I want to recount.
Also, that's what the ladder match is. So the two belts that you're going for are the old WWE title, and then the new belt. Because Kevin's just been walking around going, "No, this is my title.
This is mine. You can't have it." I always love that. That's one of my favorite like shitty heel things, is just to steal it and then walk around like it's mine.
I did it.
I stole it. It's like, because it's so funny to think the equivalent in any other sports, like stealing the Lombardi trophy and not giving it back and just walk, and no one makes you give it back. You're just like, no, it's mine.
Well, and when he was talking to Sammy on Monday, he's like, "Yeah, I'm the champ," and he's like hitting the belt. It's like, and Sammy's like, "No, you're not.
No, you're not, you psycho."
Kevin's shirt game is always on point. He came out wearing a shirt. Oh, Cody sucks eggs. It's just so petty, and I fucking love it.
I love Kevin. Kevin has been so good for so long. He's just steady, solid, puts in great matches.
Does some swantons.
Really got in shape too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kevin.
Kevin's Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I went down this rabbit hole because WWE has videos of like tattoos. So it's like wrestlers talk about their tattoos. Because a lot of times when Kevin talks, he's yelling, so you don't really hear but he has a very French accent.
Yeah.
When he talks. Because Tim talking about his giant dinosaur tattoo, which is very cool.
It is. That could have gone one of two ways, and it actually came out cool.
Yeah, it did. He has a lot of all his that arm is dinosaur tattoos.
Oh, that's actually sick. That's that's my young boy dream right there.
And they're all fossils, because he's like, we don't know what actual dinosaurs look like, but we know what their fossils look like, which is
smart, Kevin.
Which is a very, very valid pedantic thing that I actually really like. So they did that. Hold on, let me find my notes. Then we had Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman.
That was it was good.
Yeah, solid B. They ended it early because Jacob went like out of control and like was killing Braun.
Let me ask you, Daniel, and it looked like, and maybe I was mistaken, kind of felt like that was fake blood.
I think so,
because the camera had like panned back to Braun at one point, and it looked like it had randomly appeared, and it did. And I was like, I think that's fake blood, but
yeah, he probably had something like. I don't think he cut.
Well, but like he had like a bunch in his mouth, so he probably was like kind of like spitting it out a little bit. And I'm like, all right, I think that's
it was to sell that Jacob is this monster.
So
if you're selling taglines though, the monster of all monsters versus the Samoan werewolf is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I will say I've seen Braun Strowman live, and I've seen a SmackDown with him.
Mm-hmm.
In person, like when you watch on TV, he's a big dude. In person, it is terrifying how large he is. You see him and you just go, fuck, like that is a big dude. Like I can't explain why it doesn't translate as much on TV.
Yeah.
But when you're actually there, he just takes up so much space.
You also got to imagine like he's also fighting bigger dudes.
Yeah, he's fighting
like
dudes.
They need to put like, and most wrestlers are big in general, but it's like, hey, can we get like a normal human for scale?
Yeah,
please?
just
like the Olympics.
Yeah.
I remember I was out of curiosity. I kind of looked up what he did because he had a WrestleMania event, and he talked about what he ate in a day. Good Lord, that's a big fucking person.
Yeah,
like The Rock, he's just got to eat like a bunch of calories.
He says that he eats about 8 to 9 pounds of food a day.
That's crazy. That would kill me.
He talked about like he eats so he for example he was like, oh, if we went to Waffle House, he's like, I would order 10 eggs,
which and
he's like most of it would be egg whites. I'd have like 4 egg yolks in it just for like, whatever. That's a whole nutrition thing we can talk about that. He's like, I'd have like a double order hash browns. he's like I think he said pancakes, and then he's like, and then I'll have orange juice and coffee, and that gets my day going.
Jesus.
Yeah. You can find it. He talks about all the time what he does. Yeah, because he's a lot thicker now. He's more like power lifter big than like super shredded. And he was like, I just eat 8 to 9 pounds of food a day. Somebody was like, God bless his toilet.
You would have to be that big just to maintain and to have that much muscle and to maintain that size.
Oh, big fucking person.
Yeah.
He's a monster of all monsters. It's a good selling point. But it is. So Jacob, they did the classic, like, oh my God, stop him. They can't stop Jacob. And I think the funniest thing is if you really think about it super hard, because so he's by one of the ropes, and Jacob just keeps doing like moonsaults off of it.
Yeah.
And like nobody's thinking to like pull him away.
No, if we could just move him, he's too heavy.
And so they just keep putting their hands up, and then Jacob just like knocks their hands and then just does it. And then they keep doing it. And he does it like 5 or 6 more times. And you're like, oh God, he's dead.
Already dead. Move him out of the way.
He's just like lying on the ground. You're like, yeah, move him.
Get him out of there, please.
Like a teacher who can't control a classroom or their classroom. And then that ties into the end, which is Gunther versus Jay. Gunther, it was a good match. Gunther, I think Gunther won, obviously.
Yeah.
So the question I had was, how do we feel about Jay's singles career? Because I know he's main event Jay Uso, but it feels like he hasn't won a lot of main events.
That's what Gunther brought up.
Gunther had main event. Gunther's promo was very good that he cut against him on
What was his
Raw.
What was like the points?
He was like, how can you be main event Jey Uso if you've never like won?
Yeah, that's fair.
He also he comes, and Gunther does this very good, like, I'm better than you.
Yeah,
like,
he really does. Yeah, like,
and not like schoolyard. No, I'm better than you.
Yes,
because Jay comes out. And he's like, Jay, he's like, I respect you, but you cut. Then he's like, and then I hear your music, and you come out like a giant dork. Classic insult for anybody.
Oh,
it
is.
And he's like, and I lose all respect for you. And he's like, you talk about being this big, like you're gonna do all this stuff, but he's like, you always show up for Roman and Jimmy and Sammy and everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's boring, and you say that you're good, but you haven't won. Like, when are you finally gonna start winning?
That's a good promo. That's a good, like, no, you're dumb.
I hate you. I think I'm better than you.
Yeah, no.
You're kind of a wiener.
I love a good I'm better than you promo, if that makes sense. Like a good classic, like, no.
Just a good schoolyard bully, like,
yeah.
I think you're a doo-doo head.
I'm a higher class. Like, it's just, I don't know. It cuts good. It's Ric Flair was really good at that. Ric Flair was just like, no, I'm just cooler than you.
Look at my
better.
Yeah. My gator was gator shoes.
Yeah, it was kind of that, like, yeah, you might beat me, but I'm better. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
I'm still better than you at the end of the day.
I'll still get you in the end. Yeah.
Gunther comes out in these really nice suits, and I think that really worked for him.
Yeah.
I kind of like that they've moved away from this pseudo Third Reich kind of villain.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Now he's more like James Bond villain almost.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Yeah,
yeah, a little less military, a little bit more like James Bond, evil.
You've brought this upon yourself, Mr. Bond.
Mr. Bond, yeah, I will break you. That kind of
which
that
I
kind
like.
of character. Yeah,
Sharks with lasers on their heads.
Dr. Evil.
Very much that kind of a character, and I like
so,
that too.
So back to the main question, which is that Jey Uso. So is Jey ever? Where do we see Jey going? Is Jey ever going to not? He's not going to be a top 3 guy, right? He's not going to be Cody. He's not going to be Roman. I guess Gunther's 3 if we're ranking the male wrestlers. Probably
right now.
Top, I would say, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'd say
probably,
so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's held the belt for a while now.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be. I don't think he'll ever be top 3.
No, I think
in the company.
I think he's going to get a Kofi Kingston kind of a career,
okay.
He's going to have a late career like Kofi Mania. He's going to win the championship. Like he'll win it eventually. Like he'll win a major title. It's not going to be very long. He'll be like a transition.
It's going to be a short,
It's going to be he'll be a short transition champion, but it'll be a good feel good moment.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, yes.
Yeah, he'll be able to have it. He's not gonna be a long time. He's gonna be a short transition guy, and then he'll go back to the kind of like mid card.
Almost like a higher rank henchman. In a sense, where he's got a face and a name, and like he's not just some guy.
He's odd job.
Yeah. Some of my favorite random storylines is when they take a mid card guy and they randomly put him in a position to win it all, and you really kind of like buy into that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a wrestler called Santino Marella. I don't know if you guys know
I love Santino.
I love Santino.
He's such an idiot too.
He would put the Cobra and he'd hit people in the which, if you think about it, would suck. That like getting hit like right.
That's a legitimate.
They had the snake. Remember when they had like the snake charm where he's walking back and forth?
The Great Khali, and then like I think it was it the Maharaja dude?
Yeah, the Maharaja. It was and he was like, "Whoa!" So there was a time where he was in Elimination Chamber. So this happened. They did this twice. There was one when he was in the Royal Rumble, and he was the last 2. It was him. And Alberto Del Rio.
Oh shit, Alberto! Goddamn.
And he hit. So they're doing the thing, and he hits Alberto Del Rio with the Cobra. They're the last 2 left. He goes down, and that crowd lost it. They would have because Santino's really because he's kind of like it starts out. He's like doing his comedy thing, blah blah blah.
Yeah, Santino's a big goober.
But then towards the end of it, you can see he's kind of like getting like emotional and like getting into it. Because he's like, oh, like I've really made it really far, and he's like this is it, and the crowd was willing him so when he hits that Cobra, it's like deafeningly loud because it was like he's gonna do it, and he did Alberto ended up getting it, but then they did the same thing where he was in an elimination chamber, and he was one of the last 2, and it was to wrestle for the world championship, and it was him and Daniel Bryan. But Daniel Bryan was the biggest asshole because he was a huge heel.
Yeah.
And they were the last 2. And again, because Santino kept winning these qualifying matches to get into the Elimination Chamber. So he kept like winning.
Yeah.
And the crowd was just picking it up. That one was great. And then there was this time where R-Truth had a really big main event run when he had little Jimmy. When he was like crazy and he was like talking to his imaginary friend about how everyone had wronged him.
Did you know little Jimmy was the crowd?
Yeah, little Jimmy. Yeah.
And then he's like, no, but he's like, I called the crowd little Jimmys, and then everybody thought I was talking about my imaginary friend, and then the imaginary friend took a life of its own.
Yeah, it was like there was this whole time where he did have a theme song because how he sings his theme song. He's like, people like that, so I'm gonna stop, and he would just come out to silence, and he would walk out. And then the best part was when he was trying to like reform, he was like, I want my theme song back, and they won't play the music. It was great because I remember he wrestled in a couple like they weren't major pay-per-views, but they were minor pay-per-views for the championship a couple times against John Cena. So that was
hell yeah,
that was fun. But yeah, I love when they randomly take like a mid-card guy who you don't kind of take seriously, and all of a sudden you're like, no, I kind of want to see this Chud guy. Just make it, yeah.
OJ. I think, yeah, I agree with that statement. I think Jay is going to get a push. And it's gonna be like it's gonna be kind of like the Sammy thing. You're like, yeah, fuck yeah, Sammy, like
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it'll be because we got close.
What if Jay beefs with Roman even more? Just in the sense of like, even with the bloodline fighting, he still was kind of like, I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this like, well, maybe not fully like that, but like he was very hesitant to join Roman.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you could do a WrestleMania event where something crazy happens and that leads to Jay's kind of thing. It's a weird. The factions are so all over the place right now, though.
Yeah.
Because it's not so much clear cut bloodline stuff. It's like anti Cody and anti Cody are the two factions, and it's like, but yeah. So the power super group is supposed to be Cody, Drew, and Seth. I think is what. Oh no, Drew, Seth, Kevin.
Drew, Seth, Kevin
is supposed to be the anti Cody group that they're going to be eventually. Supposed to be in talks of coming at some point.
Are they going to join? Because I know that they've all kind of been fighting their own fight anti-Cody or Bloodline.
I think Cody. What do you think? I think Cody's going to do something either at ladder match or WrestleMania, and that's going to turn everybody against him.
Is it Punk technically on Cody's side, or is Punk just kind of?
I think he's his own.
Yeah,
he's the man.
Punk wants his thing, and they've hinted that I think at Elimination Chamber he might cash in.
Yeah, what he wants
with Paul.
Yeah,
I don't know though.
Give me what I want.
Let me see what else. So we got some that there. Here's a question. I know David, you can if you feel like you don't know enough wrestling to answer this, that's okay. John Cena retires. Where do we put him? Greatest of all time.
Oh, the greatest of all time. Are we?
I think I think John's the greatest of all time once he retires.
Are we talking about overall package of a wrestler or the best wrestler?
Best of when you think wrestling, John, like that person.
I 100% agree. I think John Cena's number one. I think there's better. I think there's better wrestlers, right? Like there's people who can do more moves and do more things, but no one could sell it and be the package and be the guy the way John Cena was.
And just to jump in, and Daniel's kind of right, I really don't know, but I will state, as somebody who didn't watch wrestling as a kid, I knew who John Cena was, and the only other person that I knew of was Rey Mysterio. I didn't know any other wrestlers. And maybe the Rey Mysterio might have just been where I grew up. Hey, Latin population, Rey all the way.
2 hours away from San Diego, baby.
And there's been like a wrestler sans, you know what I mean? Like a wrestling sans recently where wrestling has, I feel like, really had a resurgence.
Yeah.
Kind of in like the national like consciousness and everything. And I feel like it's really like popped off again.
Would you say COVID kind of brought it back in a sense? Because if you think about it, like a lot of sports were having issues getting stuff going, but wrestling, they're like, all right, we'll just do it like at one little arena and like we make it work.
I think a couple things. I think streaming really brought it back, because when I was growing up, to watch a pay-per-view, it was $60 a pop. Yeah, you had like, I remember asking my parents, like, man, I just really can't. What, WrestleMania, please? I'll do anything.
I'll mow the lawn. I'll do the dishes.
But $60-$70 a pay-per-view, 12 times a year. That's crazy. Yeah. And then with the advent of, there's just the WWE app, and then of course that went to Peacock, and then Netflix and all this stuff. It was a lot. It became a lot more accessible. I feel like they got really good about hyping it up on social media, showing you clips, showing you stuff like that. And I think that all combined with the Bloodline storyline. I think the Bloodline storyline was just really good, and it made Roman Reigns a huge star outside of the bubble. Because there was a time literally where John Cena was keeping wrestling alive, in my opinion. Like, it was just him. Like, there was a lot of great, like, Randy Orton and stuff was there, but John was like.
And that's where it's like, as somebody who didn't watch, I knew who John Cena was. I knew what this was. It's like, He broke through.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what restarted. But I think John is, and as far as like the work he's done outside with like the Make-A-Wish stuff,
yeah,
and just he seems like a legitimately, like, when you see him interact with those kids and stuff, he just seems like a good person. Like, he is what he is. He is Superman. He is white bread, but he's just like, and I feel like you just need that sometimes, you know? And yeah, I agree. I think he's probably the best overall package because he's great on the mic too. And people forget about that. He is very good. He's a very good speaker.
Mm.
I think he's the overall package. You could probably find people who are better at individual things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like The Rock could have been the greatest of all time if he had stayed wrestling for longer. But The Rock's body of work is so short, kind of like Stone Cold's body of wrestling is actually pretty short comparatively. And of course it was because it really went like Hulk Hogan, then Stone Cold.
Yeah, I think I'll say Stone Cold and then
Rock, Cena, and The Undertaker has always just kind of like
he's been
like,
there.
He's been there because The Undertaker is just like The Undertaker's just cool. He's like the monster
Undertaker
truck
too. I forget.
He's like the monster truck, Gravedigger. You know what I mean? Like everyone knows. Like everyone knows Gravedigger, the monster truck. I can't say I've ever watched Monster Jam, but I see Gravedigger. Go, fuck yeah!
There's also now Son of Gravedigger, brother.
Son of Gravedigger.
Is it a little one? Wait, was that when we went to your bachelor party? Was that?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So they have their own card, legitimately, and I think Chris told me this, that Son of Gravedigger was literally Gravedigger's son, that he got his own truck, but now they kind of are a team, but they're separate because the dad I don't think drives anymore. The son I don't know if he does.
We'll have to do a Monster Jam podcast.
Monster Jam, a history.
But yeah, I'm gonna say John Cena is probably the GOAT.
Okay. I didn't know that was too controversial, especially because I know like you have so many Stone Cold fans. I know you have people who are like, well, Bret Hart is the greatest because he was the greatest technical wrestler. And I know Hulk Hogan has just shot his legacy into oblivion.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not Hulk anymore with all that stuff. God bless Jesse Ventura.
Oh yeah, the body, Macho Man.
He was on the mic last night.
He was. Oh, he was having so much fun. You could tell.
I forgot to bring up Daniel. I know I texted you about it, and Zach, did you watch last Saturday night?
I didn't watch last Saturday night.
Okay. No. So not yesterday's, but the previous one. So the walkout, they had like the aisle just super tight.
Yeah,
and the fans are right there, and like you could tell a lot of the talent was kind of like,
get through. Yeah,
touch me. Like I remember Chelsea Green kind of coming out like, and this is kind of her character, like don't touch me.
Yeah, but still, you don't want those sweaty.
Yes. And this yesterday, it was still close, but it was just a little farther out. And so I was like, oh, they probably were like, hey, we'll meet you in the middle. We still want that close feel, kind of like the classic, but we're going to move it out so people aren't just like you can't have like a hot girl in a trading card store, dude. You just can't. And that's why I brought up like the Chelsea Green. I was like, I just remember her running out and she was just kind of like, ew.
Just
like not
a bunch of chuds out there. She's probably spraying deodorant as she runs.
Sweaty and
it's especially now with female wrestling being so prominent now, and like I feel like a lot of wrestling fans haven't evolved, so to speak. Because you could literally just do this and that you tap somebody's shoulder.
Yeah.
I think some kid reached out and tapped Kevin, and Kevin turned around, and I don't know how much of it's a bit.
Yeah.
Because that's the beauty of being a heel, right? How much of it is you are actually an asshole. But even like security was like, hey, dude, you gotta
don't stop.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. That also you notice that, security's like right behind him. It's almost like when they come in through like the stadium steps, like Jay came in through the crowd, which even that's a very similar where it's like people are touching you and like trying to get the selfie with you. And
do you think like when the security guard's like, okay, you're assigned to Jay, they're just like, fuck,
damn it.
It's like do you remember the Sandman's entrance on ECW One Night Stand? He's just in the crowd. He's just hitting himself, and you're like, oh, there's no security here. If he But it's the Sandman, so he's gonna fight anybody.
But also imagine the cameraman, who I'm assuming is having to walk backwards down these very steep steps of. I mean, maybe they're at the bottom, just super zoomed in, but I don't know.
Yeah, like, no, damn. They're just like, God damn it, Jay, please stop.
Also, this is kind of off topic, but we're just mentioning the Sandman coming in on that entrance where he comes through the crowd. It has one of my favorite lines an announcer has ever said during an entrance is during that, when it says because the crowd is going crazy for him, and they go, they believe because he believes.
That's a good
and for some reason, it goes, yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh, Sandman on your coke binges, and that dude was crazy.
Oh yeah, just OD'd and was like, no, I can still go wrestle.
I can do it.
I think he's probably one of the few people who could put up with New Jack too.
Yeah,
which New Jack is as close to a serial killer as you're gonna get. Yeah,
I have no idea why you'd want to wrestle him.
I'll take him. Should I Google New Jack?
Yes,
Google New Jack.
New Jack literally would go to all white territories, and
like in the deep south,
deep south, and he would come out with a baby doll on a noose, a white
baby doll.
Did he pair with what's his name? It's the guy. Man, I watched his biography, and he talked about they were in like Sturgis, and they were going to get like run out of.
Yes, I think that was what's his not something?
D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo Brown, yeah.
D'Lo Brown was in the posse that he had going on, and New Jack legitimately tried to kill somebody multiple times. He threw that one dude off that
40-foot.
Booker T. I was thinking of Booker T.
Oh.
He talked about a story because I watched this like little.
Booker T was in the Harlem Heat,
and maybe that's what it was. And they came out, and the other talent was like, "Hey, dude, like, we probably should." And they're like, "No, like, we're gonna do this."
Shout out to Booker T.
Yeah. Booker T was in Harlem Heat, which is a fantastic name for a tag team.
It is a great name. Also, Booker T is one because, like I said, I just love saying random wrestling facts to Ashlyn and just see how she responds. And I'm like, I'll hit you with the spinneroonie. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, that's his finishing move.
He just goes around. I love
the clip of everyone doing a spinneroonie.
You got to do a spinneroonie.
Shucky, ducky, quack, quack.
I think Chris Van Vliet asked him. Oh, shit. That was a good one. Do you think D'Lo Brown just walked by and was like, oh, my God, New Jack, what are we doing?
Fuck, dude, there's got to be a moment where you go, I don't know, man. It's like when you're with your friend and your friend's making jokes, right? And then they start getting a little worse, and you're just like, I don't know.
The crowd, dog. The
crowd. Oh, they're getting a little rowdy.
So that last topic, was a little bit of a history lesson for David, I think, if he hasn't watched it. But we talked about this over text, Zach.
Yeah.
Where do you think wrestling would be if Vince hadn't bought out all the other territories? And so
it was still
independent. So
independent.
Do you want to tell us about the independence of wrestling just for the folks at home?
Wrestling used to be regional, right? So you had all these really small promotions that had like little. It was the territory days, right? Like they were like little gangs, and they all had like local TV deals. So you had your wrestling that would be like LA, and that was them, like Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and that was like the Mount, like, you know what I mean? And they were all these little promotions, and people would get big in a promotion, and then they'd kind of like cross over with other promotions, and it was all these local TV deals, right? Vince's dad, Vince Sr., went around and basically formed a bunch of trade deals with these smaller promotions and merged them into one, creating the original WWF. It was the world. That's why it's called the Federation, because it was a bunch of smaller promotions banding together and combining their talent. And then they were able to take those smaller TV deals and they were able to leverage that into what would be national TV deals.
Yeah. So he made the Worldwide Wildlife Fund?
He did.
With Jack Hanna?
Yeah, it was a lawsuit.
Jack Hanna wrestling Steve Irwin, dog?
Steve Irwin?
Sorry, I just had to throw it in there.
No, it's true. That ended up being a huge lawsuit. That's why they changed it to WWE, because they lost the lawsuit with the WWF, the wildlife.
Save the pandas, dog.
Save the pandas. And it was So it became centralized, and then what happened is the smaller promotions who didn't fall under the umbrella, right? They still existed, they were still out there, but they were never able to gain momentum because WWE has become like Pepsi
Monopoly.
and Coke, right? They are soda. You know what I mean? You have soda. So that whenever there was another competitor, so there was always like WCW, but there was only ever like two or three, and WWE has always outlasted or been better. And it's kind of like salt, right? It's Morton salt. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like it just is what it is.
Mhm.
And so WCW tried, fell off. There's been like ECW for as much waves as it did. ECW kind of got on TV, but it was much more like underground. Obviously, that died. TNA really thought they could. TNA is still around and they still get national TV deals, so shout out to them. The Impact Zone. I love TNA. They're the cockroaches. You can't kill them.
Yeah, I think TNA is probably the one like organization outside of WWE that's like held that just is, it hasn't competed, but it knows what it is.
Yes,
and it is. We're still here, motherfuckers.
Because outside of the US, right? Outside of the US, WWE kills still. Like WWE is huge in like India and all this stuff. So obviously Japan has like New Japan Wrestling, which is there because in Japan wrestling's a really big deal. They have New Japan Wrestling, and then Mexico has AAA, which is
it's CMLL.
Yeah. So they have all that kind of stuff, and obviously there's still tons of independent wrestling. But to really answer your question, I think wrestling would have stayed small. I think at some point though, people trying to merge territories and get bigger was kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
I think it was always going to happen because if it didn't, it never would have grown beyond cable. You know what I mean? Or like local stuff. So you would have never got like a John Cena or a Hulk Hogan as like a national figure. Like if we were in Fresno, we might know about some guy that was big here.
Yeah.
But it would have stayed very regional. We would be watching wrestling like we watch like Chud wrestling videos of like JJ Escobar. Like that would be it. Like we would be watching small YouTube streaming like market stuff.
Could you imagine though, like if they had almost like the NFL model where it's like, hey, you've got 4 regions, like the North, the South, the East, and the West, and then it's like they filtered in, and like WrestleMania, like that was the big, almost like tournament where it's like all your champions come in to fight for the overall, like.
That'd be cool.
That does sound really. David with these good ideas.
David is great. We need to start a wrestling league.
Get me in a writing room,
in charge of ideas.
I'm down.
Hey, listen, we're gonna get this podcast bit. Lucha Underground's coming back.
Lucha Underground should have been. So Lucha Underground did not fail because of the quality.
No.
It failed because it was on stupid El Rey.
El Rey never. They had bad accountants.
No money. Trying to pay him literal peanuts with the worst contracts of all time.
Yeah.
That was not the wrestling, but no, I feel like it would have been stuff like Lucha, right? It would have been like TV, like you may have got on national TV, but it was never going to be like a thing because because they were smart, right? They created a federation. And then what did they do? They created WrestleMania. They created this huge like cultural touchstone thing. Because WrestleMania is like, it's like the Super Bowl. It's like the World Series. It's just this huge event.
Well, and they were taking all like the top talent, right? So it's like, hey, I pulled Hulk Hogan from here. I pulled Macho Man from here. And like, people are going to, hey,
John
was the best.
John was Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVO.
Mm-hmm. OVO. And there was stuff like Smoky Mountain Wrestling and stuff like that.
That's Cornette, right? Smoky?
It's Smoky. And a lot of those smaller ones still exist, but basically they're just like, hey, we have contacts in like NXT. Come and wrestle for us. You put some stuff on tape. Maybe we can get you to NXT. And NXT is developmental for WWE. And so I think at some point they would have had to get in a federation or merge. You know, I feel like that was the inevitable move, to be honest with you. But that's just what I think.
No, I think I 100% agree with that. I mean, you know, especially with sports, it's just going to get bigger.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's like, I was talking about it with Ashlyn, something about, I was kind of explaining it to Ashlyn. And I was like, it's like that Shane Gillis joke where he makes about the Special Olympics. Well, he's like, why don't we race them?
Yeah.
You know, the town next to us says they got the best ones. Well, let's find out.
Let's just find out.
And like that really is like that's the beauty of sports. Right? What if we just had our guys go up against theirs? And I agree. I like the idea that if they had kept it that like like they had it in territories like that, like just north, south, east, west, and then you just have like WrestleMania.
Like it leads up into like the big.
That would
you can
be
make
cool.
it a week event, or it's like maybe 3 big. Hey, it's a build up for the final, whatever.
You could even do that for developmental, like the little like the how Lancaster has like their little luchador. Like you just have all of them wrestle, and then they send their best, and then you have. And then, WWE can go in and go, we want him.
Yeah.
Didn't NXT do like a crossover with somebody recently?
TNA. Impact.
They're like, we can't kill him.
We can't kill him as well.
We'll join him. And then the fourth big one. So I think if we were to rank them, it's WWE.
Yeah.
AEW.
Yeah.
Which has, they're the equivalent of we have too much money and we don't know what to do with it. You have TNA, who just, we know what we are.
Yeah, we're just doing it.
We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna shoot. We're gonna shoot the 2 inside the paint. We're gonna keep it simple. And then you have Ring of Honor, which is
I forgot about Ring of Honor. Yeah.
Which is the developmental league for AEW.
Yeah,
but they don't do anything with that.
Oh, and there's XCW.
CCW.
So CCW. Oh my! Somebody call 911. There's that.
Was it the Pro Guerrilla Wrestling?
Pro Guerrilla, which is like that's more like comedy wrestling. There's There's what's JJ Escobar's? There's
that weird.
There's a whole legion of like independent chud deathmatch wrestling, right? That's just out there.
Yeah. I get why the Romans cheered.
We're gonna have an episode where we just talk about deathmatch wrestling, thoughts and opinions. What makes good deathmatch? What makes bad deathmatch wrestling?
It is an art.
It is an art. I have seen good deathmatch wrestling, and I have seen the bad.
I think we should try and go to like a live event. Doesn't have to be WWE, but like it could just be something like. Isn't there? There's Luchador here, right?
It's the new Lucha Libre League.
Yeah.
And last night was it was like the ladies' night, so it was all women wrestlers.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Sexy Star from Lucha Underground is actually the women's champion for that league.
Oh really? Hell yeah! I love Sexy Star, dude.
Brian Cage on occasion comes down and wrestles.
Oh, Brian Cage.
559 from the 559 Lucha Underground, the machine called Cage. Also, really fast, because I was forcing her to watch Lucha Underground. He was wrestling Matanza, I think, and they do the Terminator clap.
Oh yeah.
So when he's like wrestling, they do that dun 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 dun, and I was like, oh, I don't remember that. That's fucking cool.
That is very cool.
I started watching the show Heels. On Netflix. I was telling Zach a little bit about it. It's about the regional stuff. So it's about the Duffy Wrestling League. It's Stephen Amell from the show Arrow. And his dad has created this wrestling league, and like it's like Duffy, Georgia, this little podunk, and so the guy that they're going up against is from it's like the Florida Dystopian League or something crazy like that.
That's very funny.
And their whole gimmick is their deathmatch wrestling. They do the blood and stuff like that, and all the clips are like of TNA and like the MTV one.
Yeah.
Where like they would put throwing people into like electric boxes and so
I love that one,
because like one of the clips has Rhino in it.
Oh, the Rhino
has Rhino, and it has Mil Muertes when he was that like undead dude that would spit blood.
Yep,
he's in it. They show clips of him in it. Yeah, and I was like, is that Rhino? Did he just gore somebody?
The gore, one of the greatest names for a spear of all time. So good.
Last, I'm gonna pose one more question. Just because and then I'm gonna pose a homework question for everything, but for next week. So, main question: if you were to wrestle, what would your finisher be?
Is it
It can be as simple as Shawn Michaels' super kick. I know it's that we have ruined the super kick.
I've always loved Kevin Owens' pop-up powerbomb.
That is nice.
That is just a fun, because it kind of comes out of nowhere sometimes, and it's just that little bit of extra like air on it to like put it down. I really enjoy that, so I'd probably say.
Do you know what you would name it?
I don't know. I don't know if I want it to be that though. I'm still thinking. This is a big decision, Daniel. This is a big decision.
That's fair. It is.
Actually, I know what it is.
Yeah, I think I have mine.
Shout out to my boy John Morrison, one of my favorite wrestlers. I'm gonna say the end of the world.
Oh, fuck, dude, you're gonna do that move?
Fuck, dude, I'm gonna try.
You gotta change the name though. You can't just go, Starship Pain.
Oh no, not Starship Pain. I already feel my back hurting thinking about doing that.
It really is because your finisher defines you.
I know.
Like
just do it and yell rain.
I think I figured out mine. It's not going to be good, but
it's okay. No, we're just workshopping. Let's hear it. I'm excited.
I think I'd call it the bayonet, and I'd use my very sharp elbow. It'd be like a spear, but instead of your shoulder, you're gonna come in with the elbow, and then it'd be cool if I could like somehow figure out a way to like flip him over me.
Okay. I kind of like that. It's a little bit.
Hear me out here, and you're dressed like a World War I soldier.
With the gas mask on.
Because I'm gonna like set it, I'm just like, and then I'm just gonna go.
All right.
Will Ospreay has his it's like a version of that, and we've seen a version of it done incorrectly. So what he does is he has people sit facing him, and then he comes from behind them and he tells them like, hey, I'm gonna hit you. So he swings across like that, and they like, as it touches them, they duck and they roll with it. Yeah. But he calls it the hidden blade because he's an Assassin's Creed fan. So that could be it. No, that was cool.
That was cool. You know what? I'll come up with one then. I'm double jointed on my wrist, okay? So I can load up a slap.
Zach just like got him like teetering. He's like,
and then because it would come and then it would come out like that. I could call it like the mega bitch.
I feel like when you finish it, you gotta like wiggle your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and then I could have like different, like I could have like different, like I could do it from the top rope. So it goes like mega bitch, and if I do it from like the top rope, it's the omega bitch.
The omega.
The flying bitch.
It's the flying bitch. There's so many like different like alterations. Like it's like my different forms of Gear 5. First I hit you just with the bitch, and then it's like the mega bitch, and then the omega bitch.
Omega bitch is to win WrestleMania.
Exactly. Oh, he's going for the omega bitch.
We've never seen it done before.
So I think that's what that would be my finisher.
Oh, that's okay.
Just David trying to hit me with his pointy elbow, dressed like fucking a doughboy from World War I while I'm trying to fucking bitch slap him.
No, but what you do is the music hits and it's that stupid little flute and the drum that they do for like the Revolutionary War. Oh my god. Oh my god, the bayonet's coming.
And your little WrestleMania entrance could be like there's a little drummer boy in the front.
See, I would have loved it. Somehow it could have worked in. I could have been like the string bean or something. I'm like the wrestler.
That would have been good. No, and then what you do when you're loading it up, you go don't go till you see the whites of their eyes or something like that.
Oh yeah,
and then you run at them.
You could have like a small package called Trench Warfare.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Trench Warfare. You could fart on someone's face and it's chemical attack.
Flying knees, a musket ball.
It's a musket ball.
Hell yeah.
If I was double jointed like Zach, I could like load it like it's a musket and just like bring it back. And then I saw the bayonet and then I can bring it around and like hit him.
You gotta yell charge when you run. Charge!
For king and country.
Oh shit. And every time I
give me a call, Triple H.
Every time I hit someone with the mega bitch, I just yell, "Where's my money?
Where's my money?"
Every time I do it, they play somebody call 911.
Oh,
I want to do. I gotta do something Mexican. Like that sounds for the culture, dog. I think it would be like some like.
Yeah, it's gonna be out there like picking strawberries or something.
The Martinellis. No,
Martinellis.
No, that's just my cousin show up and kneecap you. No, it'd be some kind of like tornado DDT or something like that.
Oh, you could hit somebody's knee and call it the low rider.
Oh, that's a good one.
You could just like, because you could get really low and it's literally like a spear to someone's knee.
That is good. Yeah.
God, you're gonna end careers.
And you just gotta tell, hey, dude, I'm gonna go, and you have to pull your knee back as fast as you can, low rider.
And the low rider.
Oh, you could do almost like my finisher could be a version of like the Samoan drop, or like what is it, that pop up one when they pop them up and they let them fall. So top rope, I do that. Call it a homie drop off.
The homie drop off. He's.
Oh, dude! If I had like a WrestleMania entrance, I've got people like carrying a boat, and I'm like, with the flag behind me.
All these like little drummer boys just walking down, like making a circle around the ring.
And then the storyline changes. I'm actually a communist spy that's been sent.
I like that. Ooh,
then Manuel Miranda comes out, leads your walkout entrance in honor of Hamilton.
To go with my pimp character, instead of coast to coast, it's corner to corner.
Shot of Blackstone.
Shot of Blackstone.
I see what Aaron
Motel Drive.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Late night drive. Oh, that's a running knee. Late night drive by.
Late night drive by. Gators Jimmy's.
Oh god, I love Sundays. This is great. So much. Oh well, I think homework for next week. Greatest. This is 2-parter. So greatest walkout.
Okay.
Like as a whole.
What are you doing to me, Daniel?
Make it. You're gonna learn one way or the other.
David. Fucking okay.
But listen, Watch Mojo has a top 20 greatest.
Just pick one of those.
I'm gonna pick one, and you guys are gonna hate it. I'm gonna say my source is Watch Mojo.
Yeah, he's gonna pick like, he's gonna pick Santino Marella.
That was a great lockout though. His lockout music was so good.
Hard truth coming out to silence.
So the whole presentation, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So walkout entrance as a whole.
Okay.
But then the actual song.
Oh, okay. With my favorite walkout song.
Yeah.
And then can we add on what song we would have if we were a wrestler?
Okay, yeah, something like that. Yeah. That one you could do, David.
I'd have somebody with a flute come out since I'm a pioneer, I guess.
It's got to be Panama. You got to come out.
Shut up and dance.
Shut up and dance with me.
Oh, and then as it plays, you slap somebody.
I'm gonna have the Vietnam song that's played in every Vietnam movie.
Oh,
Fortunate Son.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of good. I like that. I'm surprised.
I actually would kind of go hard. Actually,
I would.
Do I full sprint or would I walk out?
Oh, full sprint.
Because I'm like, I feel like I'd want a full sprint.
Wearing a hat that says "Was it Born to Die" on it.
Oh yeah,
helmet, like fucking Full Metal Jacket.
But you gotta have really wide eyes. So you gotta just randomly scream at like loud sounds. Ah!
And I don't get in the ring. I like pretend it's like a trench, and I'm like taking cover. So if like my opponent has to come out, I'm like.
A great bit would be the WrestleMania fireworks go off and you yell at them about having PTSD.
No, I like jump out. I'm like, oh my god!
Oh.
You know how like for John Cena, they had all those people when they all did that. It's you have a bunch of people with like leaf like palm fronds. And they're just all shaking them. So the trees are shaking, and then it's just David running out,
running through the jungle.
Why are the trees talking?
Oh, there you go. That's your finisher, the talking trees. But yes, everybody, if you listen to this, please put in the comments what would your finishing move be? What would it be, and what would it be called? And I feel like the 12-year-old thing is to call it like Nightblade, Deathhawk, or something like that. Yeah, I mean,
so good.
But yes, leave a comment. Let us know what your finishing move would be if you'd have one, and what it would be called. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us. We will be back again. Thank you, Zach and David, for joining me today.
Anytime.
It has been a pleasure, and you are all, gentlemen and scholars. Remember, everybody, next week is the Royal Rumble. Please stay tuned. We're going to have definitely a response episode for that, and where we think, because I think once that happens, we'll kind of have an idea of how WrestleMania is going to play out.
Yeah.
Will John win?
Oh, please, God.
He's not going to win.
I'm telling you, John Cena, CM Punk, Roman, Cody, tag team is how we end it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. Take care.